Chapter 9. Coloured Chalks. Jack had been petitioning his history teacher, Miss Verity, to be allowed to bring Grandpa into her class all term. At his new school they had started studying World War II. Who better to learn about it from than someone who had actually been there? What's more, all the other kids could see how cool his grandfather was. Maybe then having a collection of model aeroplanes wouldn't be so sad after all. Miss Verity was a tall, thin woman who wore long skirts down to her ankles and frilly blouses up to her chin. Her spectacles hung down from her neck on a silver chain. She was one of those teachers who somehow managed to make an exciting subject deathly dull. History should be thrilling, with its stories of heroes and villains who shaped the destiny of the world, bloodthirsty kings and queens, daring battles, unspeakable methods of torture. Sadly, Miss Verity's method of teaching was mind-numbing. All the lady would do was write dates and names in her beloved coloured chalks up on the blackboard. Then her pupils would have to copy everything down into their exercise books. Facts, 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 she would recite as she scribbled away. Facts were all she cared about. One particular history lesson, all the boys from her class clambered out of the window for a crafty game of footy in the playground. Miss Verity didn't even notice they were gone, as she never turned around from her blackboard. Convincing the history teacher to allow Grandpa into the classroom at some point had not been an easy task. In the end, Jack had to bribe her with a set of coloured chalks from the local newsagent's shop. Fortunately for the boy, the shop owner Raj had sold the set of luxury chalks as part of one of his special offers. They had come free with an out-of-date box of fudge. It was lucky that history was the second lesson of the day, as Grandpa made his grandson rather late for school. First, it took a while to convince the old man that when Jack had said school, he did of course mean an RAF flying school, and not just a local comprehensive. Second, the shortcut through the park turned out to be something of a long cut. Grandpa had insisted on climbing to the very top of the tallest tree in the park so he could keep an eye out for enemy aircraft. Coming down took a great deal longer than going up, and in the end Jack had to borrow a ladder from a nearby window cleaner to coax his grandfather, to the ground. When the pair eventually passed through the school gates, Jack looked at his RAF issue watch and realised his history lesson had started 10 minutes ago. If there was one thing Miss Verity could not abide, it was lateness. All eyes turned to the boy as he entered the classroom. Jack went bright red with embarrassment. He hated being the centre of attention. "Why are you late, boy?" barked Miss Verity, spinning around from her blackboard. Before Jack could reply, Grandpa stepped into the classroom. "Wing Commander Bunting at your service, madam," he said, with a salute before bowing his head and kissing the teacher's hand. "Miss Verity," she replied, giggling and covering her mouth nervously. The teacher was obviously flattered by Grandpa's gallantry. It might have been some time since a gentleman had made a fuss of her in this way. That the teacher giggled made the class giggle too. To silence them, Miss Verity gave the children one of her famous death stares. These were so chilling that they always worked in an instant. "Please take a seat, Mr. Bunting. I had absolutely no idea you were coming today." She glared at Jack. The boy offered his teacher a warm smile. "But you are here, so let's make the best of it. I believe you're going to tell us about your life as a World War II fighter pilot." "Roger," replied Grandpa. The teacher checked behind her in case someone called Roger had entered the room. "Who's Roger?" "It means yes, miss," called out Jack. "Pop your hand in the air if you have something to say, boy," she snapped, before turning back to Jack's grandpa. "We have just begun studying the Battle of Britain. Please can you tell us something of your personal experience of this?" Grandpa nodded and twizzled the ends of his magnificent moustache. "Certainly, madam. The first day of the Battle of Britain, we all knew the enemy had planned something huge. Total obliteration. That's what Mr. Hitler wanted. Radar picked up a huge squadron of Luftwaffe Junkers over the coast, with Messerschmitt fighter planes acting as guard. There were so many that day, the sky was black with them. From the back of the classroom, Jack beamed with pride. The entire class was hanging on the old man's every word. For a moment, he felt like the coolest kid in school. We had no time to lose. The enemy was coming in fast. If we didn't take to the air immediately, we would have been knocked out of the ground. "Oh no," said an enraptured girl at the front. "Oh yes," continued Grandpa. The whole airfield would have gone up in flames. My squadron was the first to be scrambled, and as wing commander I was to lead the charge. Within seconds we were all up in the air, up and away. I pushed my Spitfire to 300 miles an hour. "Wow," said a boy at the back, looking up from his football magazine. 300 miles an hour? The Air Chief Marshal radioed me to tell me we would be outnumbered. He said 4-1, so I had to think fast. We needed an element of surprise. I ordered my squadron to hide up above the clouds. The plan was we would wait until the enemy were so close we could smell them, and then attack. "So what date was this exactly, Mr. Bunting?" interrupted the teacher. "I need to put it on the blackboard in red chalk." Red chalk is for dates only. Miss Verity used a strict colour coding on her blackboard. Red chalk was dates, green chalk was places, blue chalk was events, orange chalk was famous battles, pink chalk was quotes, purple chalk kings and queens, yellow chalk politicians, white chalk military leaders, black chalk doesn't show up well on a blackboard, used sparingly. Grandpa thought for a moment. Jack's tummy twisted. He knew dates were not the old man's strong suit. But eventually the Grandpa replied confidently, "July the 3rd, 1100 hours. I remember it well." The teacher wrote these facts up on the blackboard, the red chalk squeaking as Grandpa continued. So I waited until the very last moment. As soon as I saw the first Messerschmitt emerge from under the clouds, I gave the order. "Dive!" "What year was this?" "Pardon me, madam. What year was this?" Miss Verity pressed. Then disaster. The old man's face went blanker than blank.